Yo, haha, Miltnificent. What is good, YouTube? Your boy Miltnificent coming back with another quick video, man. Today we got the Nike Dunk High Wu-Tang, and I'm going to explain from start to finish what the hype is, why people were pretty much excited to see this re-release, and what it means to the sneaker community in terms of its significance and how important it is and why it's important, right? So let's kind of go back to the whole Wu-Tang era where, 1993, Wu-Tang comes out with an album that's called Enter the Wu 36 Chambers. Now, I felt like that album back then pretty much just took off, METHOD, man. I mean, I think it was Cream was one of them. It's like it had so many different bangers back then that you're still listening to today. But in terms of the hype, Wu-Tang was definitely a big, significant part in the hip-hop community. So much that when Nike started their whole releases of, different dunks in the college series, they were trying to figure out a way to promote the Nike Dunk High, right? So with different colleges participating, one of them was the actual Iowa college, right? So you're trying to figure out the whole Iowa colorway, which was kind of like a yellow and blackish colorway, really. So it was to the point where it was like, that wasn't really a popular color back then, if that makes sense, when they did the whole be true to your college or true to your school Nike movement. We had Kentucky, you had UNLV, different types of schools that they were promoting with different colorways. But when it came to the Iowa dunks, one of the designers trying to figure out, how can we spruce up this release and introduce it to the community to make sales. So you think of Travis Scott, you think of collaborations and different stuff like that. That stuff, while it wasn't really prominent back then in terms of collaborations like we see today, it was definitely in the back of the mind of Nike. So fast forward, they're just trying to get the Iowa dunk, the actual Nike Dunk High, to sell. So what better way than to think of back in the 90s, right? Wu-Tang, right? So Wu-Tang also dropped another album called Wu-Tang Forever. And I remember this, I think this was back in 97. I was still blasting it 99. One of my favorite songs from that album was Triumph. And again, Wu-Tang always putting an imprint on the hip-hop community around that timeline, even to today. But when you're looking at that, you figure, okay, Wu-Tang typically has gold and black. But this yellow is kind of on, it's kind of off, but it's close to it. Yellow, black, golden black. Golden black is what Wu-Tang kind of colorway was, right? The whole Pollen series, bees, killer bees, you get the whole kind of gist of it, right? So they figured, let's just slap a Wu-Tang logo on like the heel, the tongue, and kind of introduce it to the world. Instead of the Iowa dunks, let's just try to introduce it to the world as the Wu-Tang High dunks. But unfortunately, it became like a limited release. I mean, when I say limited, it was very limited. It's rumored that Nike did about maybe 100 pairs. But to the public, specifically family members of the Wu-Tang Clan, and I think it was some type of couple Nike executives got this too, but it was supposedly only 36 pairs actually released. And 36 pairs for the first album, 1993, Enter the Wu 36 Chambers. So hear me out on this. So if that's the case, if it was only really 36 pairs in circulation, not released, in circulation, and a limited release, that doesn't give a lot of people a chance to actually cop. Now, the concept was good. I guess they wanted to, my guess is that Nike wanted to get a feel of how the hype would be, right? The colorway, again, wasn't really popular, but you slap a Wu-Tang logo on it, maybe there's some interest. And then it got to the point where the sneaker community kind of heard about it. They saw some people wearing it that actually had legit pairs. And, of course, everybody's trying to figure out, yo, Wu-Tang, the hype is there. They're trying to figure out where to get it. And then you realize only 36 pairs were released. So this shoe throughout the sneaker community, you're talking over 20 years. Here's the significance about this. Over 20 years. When you look at some of the most popular shoes to release, at least to date, even going back to the 90s, you look at, I want to say it was a different list that somebody had where in terms of shoes that were hard to acquire, Wu-Tang was at number 4. right? The Nike Mags was at number 7, I believe. But the Wu-Tang was at number 4. So that should tell you that this was definitely and still is a highly coveted shoe to have in your lineup, especially if you're a shoe collector. So fast forward, 2006, Nike and Wu-Tang, there's a rumor coming around that they're actually going to re-release, or at least try to release, a wider range of this release. And then, it just didn't work out between Nike and Wu-Tang. Because again, Wu-Tang also has to get the sign off to make Nike release this shoe, especially for the Wu-Tang logo, right? So it didn't work out in 2006. So you would not believe who's responsible, who was actually helped inspire the re-release of 2024 that we're seeing today. So RZA, RZA basically is one of many Wu-Tang members, but he has like a prominent role within the group. Like, he's taken on so many different avenues, management, marketing, things of that nature. So when it came to, how would Nike be able to re-release this shoe in 2024? You would think, okay, well, Nike and RZA have to get together, a couple of members of Wu-Tang, legalize the whole thing, and then we're pushing this whole Nike Dunk High Wu-Tang. However, that wasn't the inspiration. The story goes that RZA actually went to Tokyo. I want to say it was around 2023, maybe 22. I think it was 23. And, he stopped by StockX. It was one of like a pop-up shop or a pop-up shop where you could kind of see the shoes and how much they're worth and things of that nature. And he went to go look for the Nike Dunk Wu-Tang. Again, in circulation, this is almost impossible to get. And when he actually found a legit pair, he saw that one was going for, I want to say, close to $100,000. And I think it was that moment where RZA said, you know what, man, this has been a shoe that's been highly coveted in the sneaker community for so long that for the price to get this high, I got to do something to make this right and, make this available to more people who are kind of just like thirsting to have this in their lineup. And so, of course, RZA gets inspiration from that moment, works out a deal with Nike, Wu-Tang, boom. And here you have the Nike Dunk High Wu-Tang. Now, I'm going to say that before we get into the shoe, I'm going to say that to say this. The original pair is more of a yellowish color tone versus the kind of the pair that we're seeing today. This pair is more close to representation of the Wu-Tang culture just because it's more of a gold-black combination. And if I'm not mistaken, the Wu logo that's on the heel of this year's version is more geared towards the Wu-Tang logo than it was versus 1999. 1999 was kind of, you got to remember, it's kind of like a mock-up to try to see if we can get that hype up or just to get a feel of what the sneaker community would feel when they had that Nike Dunk. But 2024, we got it now. And if it's rumored, I don't know about the numbers, but if it's 70,000 pairs were created, it's to my understanding that wasn't statewide. That was worldwide. So if you have this shoe right now, this shoe in your lineup, consider yourself extremely lucky to have this because you realize that, again, this shoe is one of the most highly coveted shoes in sneaker history just because of how limited it was, how hard it was to find. And if you had this, the shoe pops off. And I think it's that Wu-Tang logo that just makes people go like, wow. On top of that, if you pay attention to this box, when you get your box, there's a reason why this is a pull-out drawer. This is not your regular Nike Dunk High that we're accustomed to seeing. This is a premium high. So I think this was labeled as Nike Dunk Retro Premium on the actual tag that you can see right here. This is a size 13. And the reason why it's premium is because they use premium materials and it's plush. So it's not your regular Nike Dunk that you're accustomed to wearing. Usually when they have these releases, Nike, the premiums, it's very rare. It's definitely very rare. And it's usually over time going to be worth quite a few. So when people come to realize like what the significance of this shoe actually is, I think some people don't know. And now you kind of know after hearing the story. Then you'll see why everybody was pretty much chasing this, especially if you were a fan of the Wu-Tang culture. It's not just the actual shoe, not the hype. It was the Wu-Tang culture. And trust me, it's still relevant to today. So that said and done, man. Nike Dunk High Wu-Tang, man. I got to take this I got to do the on feet, but I got to take a look at this because, man, you don't know how excited I am to have this on the Miltnificent channel. It is a blessing to cop this, especially after sneakers at Nike. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me just take this out. Man, oh man, oh man. I think some people just, again, if you knew the culture or had an idea of how these shoes, man, they look so good. If these shoes and how it plays such an impact on not just the shoe community, but the hip hop community. And I can see it already, man. That gold looks fantastic. And this is what I was talking about, that Wu-Tang. And I think the difference is when somebody said it was a slight difference with the Wu-Tang logo, this is stitched. But you know how the W is kind of extended? I think it was more so even on the 1999 series, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, they also have that Wu-Tang logo on the tongue of the shoe. And let me tell you right now, this is plush. This is like, I mean, actually, let me take the, I think there's a paper insert in here, and it is, listen, this is going on feet. No, this is not for sale, and this is definitely going to be one of my favorite, definitely my top. I'm not even going to get to this, but it's probably going to be my top pick of this year. But anyway, just to feel that, just look at that, just the feel of it. It's so soft, and they use premium materials all throughout this shoe. Even, I think this is nylon if I'm not mistaken. When you go on the inside, there's additional padding on the back. Again, this is the Nike Dunk Premium. This is not your regular Nike Dunk High. So when you put it on feet, it's going to feel amazing. Of course, see if they did anything on the back. Well, they did the normal Nike swoosh or the Nike information that they normally put on the back of the tongue. But this is what I was talking about. But when you look at the actual execution of this shoe, this is geared more towards the Wu-Tang culture, in my opinion, versus the 1999 version. I know a lot of people are like, well, it's not the 19... Listen, this is closer to Wu-Tang than it was 1999. That's the one part that I think some people may or may not know. If you look at the 1999 version, it's a little bit... I think the yellow on theirs, or the gold on that, is a little bit lighter than the actual true gold and black that represents the Wu-Tang culture. Comment below, man. Let me know, what do you think of this Wu-Tang Nike Dunk High? Were you able to cop? You can see it has that rubber outsole. Oh my God, I just, you don't know how excited, trust me. Like right now, like I got like butterflies in my stomach, but I've copped so many different shoes, and I came in a sneaker game in, I want to say 2017. This hands down is the favorite pickup, like in my entire collection, in terms of a storyline, what it represents, the sneak. This right here is the best, my favorite out of this entire collection. Okay, that's not hype. That's just the excitement that I had, because I remember seeing these for the first time, and I thought to myself, again, not the 2024, 1999 version, thought to myself like, wow, man, those are, you wear that, that's going to pop. No matter what you wear, it's going to pop. And I'll add to that, I'm an Eagles fan. Everybody knows I'm an Eagles fan. This is geared towards like, I can't even say the city, Pittsburgh. Joking, I'm joking. But y'all are Steelers fans, right? Steelers fan, Pirates, and if I'm not mistaken, your hockey team, Penguins, right? So you got different teams that have that black and gold combination, even Iowa, to a certain point. But this is kind of that colorway. And listen, again, if you were able to cop this, consider yourself very lucky, especially now that you know or have an idea of the backstory and what the hype was that led to this release. Your boy Miltnificent, man. Nike Dunk High, Wu-Tang. Bong bong, man. Listen, I thank you for this opportunity for, you know, working with Nike to get this re-release. This is something that is definitely going to be cherished for a very, very long time on the Miltnificent channel. And I am so ecstatic and happy to have this. Your boy is, I keep saying it, but I am. But your boy Miltnificent, man, I am out. Let's do that on feet. Nike Dunk High Wu-Tang on the Miltnificent channel. Whew. You guys, stay blessed.